Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 3 new, satisfying, and really cool high ground retakes to try out. I love learning a lot of new high ground retakes, and I want to share with you guys 3 new retakes that I've been practicing over the last couple of days. And by practicing and improving these retakes, I've noticed my building and also my editing has gotten substantially better just from practicing these retakes over the past couple of days. So definitely stay to the end of the video because these are some really good retakes to try out. And real quick, before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. I give away 2,000 V-Bucks every single Friday. So if you guys would like to participate and enter the giveaway, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys do hit that post notification bell so you guys get notified for every single new upload and when I announce the winners on every Friday. And as well, drop a comment down below of either your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be automatically entered into the next giveaway. Also, make sure you guys have me added and supported as a creator in the item shop. All you guys have to do is go down to the bottom right, click on support a creator, type in my creator code, which is Young Humor, hit accept. Just remember it changes every 2 weeks, so make sure you guys double check that you have it in. And alright guys, let's go right to the video. Alright, so in this video, I want to be sharing with you guys 3 new satisfying and smooth high ground retakes you guys can try out that I think are really good and something that you guys should really practice and add to your own retakes, just because when it comes to learning different high ground retakes in the game, there's so many different ones you can learn, and if you practice your retakes and become very good, it's going to really help you out when it comes to your editing, your building, and just overall playstyle and improvement in the game. So going into the first retake, and that's the one I have up on the screen, I really like this retake a lot, and I think this is probably the hardest one of the 3 because there is a lot of editing involved and there's going to be a couple parts to learn. So this might look really complicated, but if you're able to do a retake like this very consistently, you're going to be substantially better at editing and also building. So that's why I wanted to include this retake in this video, even though it is a little bit more difficult, because if you are able to practice the more difficult retakes in the game, when it comes to the easier ones, they're going to be so much easier and so much more consistently. So for an example, if you constantly practice your double edits, when it comes to just making a single edit play on either a floor or a ramp or a wall, whatever the case may be, it's going to be a lot easier because you're just going to be so used to going for double edits that when you go for a single edit, it's going to be much easier. And same thing can be true with high ground retakes. If you learn a little bit more difficult retake like this, where that has a couple more parts in it, so whenever you're doing an easier retake, it's going to be a lot easier to do and you won't even have to think about it, and you're probably going to be able to build a lot of consistency. So as far as going about this retake and doing it, the first step is going to be the setup. So as you're running up your ramp, you want to place a floor and you also want to place a cone. You go for a double edit, and then from there you place 2 cones side by side, and after you place those 2 cones, you place a floor, then you go for another double edit, and then you finish it off with a retake. So here it is when I'm just standing still. So I go for a double edit, I place 2 cones side by side, and then once I place that second cone, you want to place a floor and a ramp. If you want to, you can place a floor behind you, but you only need to place the 1 floor in front of you. And once you're able to do that, you want to double edit again on this floor and cone, and then you want to go for a side jump. Now, in order to do this, it's not too difficult. All you want to do is you place a ramp that's connected to the ramp that you made from editing the cone, and once you do that, as you're jumping to the side, you want to place 2 walls, and as you're placing the 2 walls, you also want to place a floor and then a ramp, and then once you do that, you go for a double edit to finish off the retake. So as I mentioned, this is definitely the most difficult one in this video, but I like this one a lot because it incorporates a lot of double editing, and I've talked a lot about this in some of my editing videos. Working on double edits is some of the best way to improve your editing speed as well, because double edits are just so crucial. You're going to be constantly doing them in game, and you're going to be able to catch a lot of people off guard. If you're very consistent with your double edits, you're going to catch a ton of people off guard and get a lot of kills, even on really sweaty players. So I would highly recommend learning that first retake. So going into the second one, this one is a little bit different to the first one, and of course I have slow motions with all of them to make it a lot easier. Now this one just is a slightly different, but there is a couple concepts with this one. The only major difference is that there isn't any sort of double editing, but you have to be very accurate with all your build placements, because when you're doing this retake, the hardest part, and from my experience, was just going to be from the first part where you jump over to the side and you ramp out one way and then you turn to another direction and ramp out that second way. Now, the reason why this one could be a little bit more difficult is because if you try to do it too fast when you're first learning it, your builds are going to be all over the place and you're going to be slipping off a ton. So you want to make sure when you're practicing this one that you practice it going slow, that you really focus on making sure you have all the right placements and that you're not running too far off to one of the sides of the ramp. And that's also another mistake I made when I first learned it, is I was running too far on like either one of the sides and I was slipping off my builds, and it was just a real pain and hassle to really get this retake down. But like I said, you really just want to focus on all your placements. So when you're practicing this one at first, you definitely want to take it slow. But if you're able to learn a retake like this, I think it can really help you improve your movement and also just your overall accuracy when it comes to placing structures, because a lot of the times in game that I notice a lot, another big mistake is when people are losing a lot of materials because they accidentally place a lot of structures, like they accidentally place an extra wall, they accidentally place an extra floor. So I feel like with this retake, you really have to focus on making sure all your placements are exact. So when it comes to going in game, it's going to make you a lot more accurate on all your build places, and it's going to save you a lot of materials. So when you're going for this retake, all you want to do is you ramp up, you place a cone, and after you place a cone, you place a ramp, a floor, and another ramp. And then after you do that, you place another cone. You can either turn to the right or left. Then you do the exact same movement, and after you do that, you place a cone on top. Then you go for a 180, and then you finish it off with a double ramp, floor, and wall. And here it is again of me just walking through it so you guys can get a really clear and easy walkthrough so you can see how to do it yourself. Because when it comes to learning retakes, at least for myself, I learn way better from watching other people do it than someone just talking and explain it. So that's how you do that second retake. So going into the third and last one I want to show you guys in this video, I like this one a lot because if you're able to pull this off in game, this could be a super beneficial retake, because when you're doing this, it's just so protected from so many different angles. I mean, if someone's above you, below you, or whatever the case may be, it's going to be extremely difficult for other people to get shots on you. And you're doing this retake at the very end. Of course, I do like a backwards ramp and a wall edit, but you don't have to do that edit. The main retake that I want to show you is just the one here before the very end. Now this one, as I said, is very protective, so if you can master this one and pull it off consistently in game, it's going to be a major help to you because it protects you from literally every single angle, from your back, from your sides, up above you, down below you, pretty much every angle that another person could get a shot on you. It's going to be very difficult to do so because this retake is just so protective. But when you're going for this retake, there is a couple of things you want to practice and have down. Now for this one, I would think this is probably one of the hardest ones to place all of your structures, because you have to be very comfortable with placing high walls. And here's just an extra slow motion of doing the high wall so you guys can really see the motion in which I'm doing this retake. So because if it looks a little bit more confusing doing it full speed, in that slow motion, hopefully that helped you out a little bit. So when you can see that I'm doing the high walls, you want to make sure that your build placements is very accurate, because one of the big mistakes and one of the things you're going to have problems with is, honestly, as long as you can get off the high walls consistently, that's going to be the hardest part of this retake. So you have to make sure the motion that you're placing your builds is going to be very accurate and very precise. So in order to really master this retake, you have to be very comfortable with your crosshair placement. And of course, I think with this retake, I think it kind of goes without saying, you're going to have to play on a little bit higher of a sensitivity in order to get all the walls. So as you can see, the basic movement that you're doing is a 90 off to the side after you place the first couple structures. But when you're doing the 90, you don't just do a 90, you basically do a 90 with high walls on top. That's just the general movement. So as you can see, you run up, you place the first couple of structures, and when you jump to the side, you're doing a 90, but at the same time you're doing a 90, you're also looking up in a direction to place high walls. So this is the motion that you want to place your structures, kind of in like a circular motion. But when you're doing this, you have to be so accurate and precise. It's kind of really hard to explain this just in a video, but you really have to be very accurate with your crosshair placements if you want to be able to get this retake off consistently time and time again. And with that being said, that's wrap up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you found this video very helpful, make sure you guys do drop a like, make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, make sure you guys do hit that notification bell so you guys get notified for every single new upload, and as well I do live stream every single day here on this channel at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I think I'm going to start streaming a little bit earlier because I know a lot of you guys are going to school, so I'm not really sure exactly which time I'm going to be streaming, but it'll probably just be a little bit earlier. So I usually start streaming at 6. Just make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you guys will get a notification when I go live. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching the video, and alright guys, I'll see you next video.